Mike Malone, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The minutes of the April 17 meeting have been distributed. We have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Mike Malone. Ventura, seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Treasurer's report, Bill Dwyer, what do you have?
Okay, the single sheet, the codes report first. Top of the page, the assets. Below that, we have two vouchers tonight for codes. And then turn it over is the checking account at the top and the savings at the bottom. And then for the district report, we have 38 district vouchers, 2 codes vouchers, and 4 credit card vouchers. First page lists the assets and our liabilities. I changed the order just a little bit on the inside pages, the way, depending on how they fell to make the packet up. So. Page 2 and 3 is the budget versus the actual. Page 4, just a single page, is the previous year comparison, and it only prints out if there's something in the category. So that's why it's only a single page. 5, 6, and 7 are the bank account pages. Page 7 is the payroll, and that's about 90% getting all corrected. You'll see some voids in there, and those were the entries that I made, but paychecks also made them, so that had doubled it, so I had to go back through with the help from the road tech there and delete the ones that I made. So that's what the void means. But that at the bottom, the 110,000 balances with the bank statements that you got tonight. Page 8 is the referendums, no change from last month. Page 9, again, I added the service award because that's only 4 lines to the liabilities. The next interest payment will be in June, almost $3,000.
Service awards, we made up, basically made up for what we lost that.
Yep, right, yes, yep. Okay, I'll get to that in a minute. Okay. And page 10, 11, 12 are tonight's vouchers. see, the service awards, paperwork is progressing. Checks should be ready by the end of June this year. And the audit should be wrapped up in about 2 weeks, I hope. He hasn't said, he said about 2 weeks.
Are they going to come to the June meeting?
I will make a note, I believe they are, but I'll check there. Oh, no, that's changed now with the June meeting, right?
Yes.
I just saw that, but, okay.
Yeah, it's the 21st.
21st, to June 21st. meeting. Okay. All right, that's it.
Any questions for treasurer? Entertain a motion to approve the treasurer's report. Mike Malone. Mike Chura seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. A motion, I'll make the motion to approve the vouchers as audited. Is there a second? Mike Chura seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Looks like Charlie DePriest has the bank statements.
Yes, he's got them, yep.
Okay. And I don't think we have any permissive referendums to close out at this point.
No,
Okay. Correspondence.
We received a thank you card from Jerry Tanner for the open house and the card. The Fire District Affairs was received and distributed. The town of Lysander sent a notice of intent to establish the SEQRA lead agency for incentive zoning for Melvin Farms, as well as the information for the development and the plans for that. And I didn't have this on the agenda, but we have the proposal from First Due Services for the hose testing for 2023. The rate is the same, it's 26 cents per foot, $20 per length for hard suction. Last year, we tested 13,500 feet and 5 lengths of hard suction. So we need to decide if we're gonna continue with them. And that's all that.
Do they say when they want to do that?
Usually it's June or July, is when we schedule it. We have to get it back to them and then they'll schedule it.
Did they give a deadline on when they want it back by?
Did they what?
Give us a deadline
No.
or respond by?
No,
When we respond,
Then
we'll put it on the
they'll schedule.
schedule.
so we can't schedule anything till we respond. Usually we schedule it for June or July. They can come and do it in the fall, but we just have to decide what we're gonna do.
So what do you recommend, Chief?
I would say go ahead and get on the schedule as soon as we can. We usually do it in June or July anyways, as I've been told, so.
It's our regular company, so you need a motion?
Yeah.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Charlie seconds the motion. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. So that's resolved. Is that it, Amy? Okay, Chief's report.
Communications, still waiting the credit for the 4 vehicle chargers that didn't come in, along with the quote on the new. radio batteries. Apparatus, the second chief's vehicle is still expected in June. Special events, we had the Recruit New York event. It went very well. It was very well attended. During the time that everyone was there, we had a standby crew at Station 2. Station 1 had a crew over to the YMCA for a Healthy Kids event a couple Saturdays ago. Under stations, the architect will be coming in the week of May 22nd to evaluate and begin a design plan for the shower addition at Station 2. And starting in May, the chiefs will begin taking duty nights to ensure a chief's response during the alarms on the overnights. That has started already.
Any comments or questions? Chief? Chief Corcoran is not here.
I have no report for him.
Chief Speech is not here. And you have no report?
I do not.
Building and facilities. So Diane and Shira,
What was that?
building and facilities.
Nothing major, the roof is still the same at 2. And the training tower was assessed and we're still looking good with that. It said it's in good shape for its age. And all of our heat sensors are good on it. So, good to go with it this year.
Well, back several months ago, I think we talked to, Amy talked to our attorney about, do we want to get out of that roof contract at Station 2? I mean, nothing's happening. Nothing's happening at all. Doesn't appear to be leaking very badly.
But I'm not sure what the contract actually says because I inherited that. So if you sign the contract, you can fill us in.
Oh, I didn't.
Dave Merzio signed it, and we talked about this in January. I sent it to Steve, and he had a letter drafted that basically we've heard nothing from them. They haven't started work. He thinks if we send this letter, I'd have to reword it a little bit, that he feels that we would be able to get out of the contract because they haven't started anything. They haven't delivered materials, and it's been 2 years.
It's the time to get out.
And he saw the contract, I believe. I sent him the contract and the information on the
I
correspondence.
inherited it, so whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
I reached out in January after we talked. He said he'd send me an updated quote. I still haven't gotten anything.
So I think that if it's been this long and we haven't heard from him in January, then we need to move on. Obviously, he's not interested in our business and, we need to look elsewhere. It's,
I mean, we'd have to rebid it, but it is what it is.
right. The price would be different anyways.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the way the contract was, he can increase the price, and that's what I told him, was we need a new price, because if it's higher than what we allowed for it, we have to do another permissive referendum. And he said, January 23rd, he said, I'll send you another quote. I followed up in February and didn't get anything from him.
it's time to move on. It's that simple.
Cancel the contract.
So we'll move forward with our attorney trying to cancel the contract?
If the contract's null and void at this point, if we have need a new contract for prices,
So,
then it's already kind of null and void in my opinion. But if they're-
unless we get to do a courtesy letter saying we're out of it.
Need to look at the contract and what's the wording in the contract. That's why you have to review contracts and understand what contracts
I
say.
think we'll talk to our attorney and deal with that.
At one point, it was a supply chain issue.
Yeah.
And Steve acknowledged that with the thing, but he said at this time, he's saying he can get the materials and he still hasn't done anything. And Steve reviewed the contract
No,
before
it's
he
a
drafted the letter for
communication
us.
issue.
Okay.
Okay, well, we'll move forward on that. and
Is that,
you-
everybody's on the same page with that?
What's that?
Did you make a motion for that, or should we do that?
Okay. make the motion that we employ the attorney to investigate the cancellation of the contract. Sound good? Okay. So I make that
Have them
motion.
remove us from the contract.
What?
Not investigate, but have them remove us, cancel our
Yeah.
contract.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys discussed this, I think, probably like 2-3 months ago, at a business meeting.
January.
Yeah. That you were gonna look into it to try to eliminate and move on to the process of getting a
We
new
did.
contract with a supplier or contractor that's gonna do the job. 2-year wait, that's a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've been overly patient.
absolutely.
So did we have a second?
I'll second it.
Charlie seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Reach out to the mayor, attorney. Okay.
Okay, and you
We're going to reach out to the attorney?
Yeah.
Okay.
He already sent me the letter, I just have to change the dates that he put
Okay,
in.
great.
You reported on the train tower, right? Oh, that's done. Okay, new truck committee.
Still the same, expecting start till September, October, maybe a delivery in December, January, for the rescue pumper.
Where is it being built?
South Dakota. It's a beautiful place.
Lysander Public Safety, next meeting is May 16th, that's tomorrow at Cody, Station 2, Wilcox Road, which is near Thunder Island.
Right next door to Thunder Island.
And the townwide training was this last Saturday. Chief Root, you want to report on that?
Sure. That was attended by myself, Lieutenant LaPrice, and Chief Corcoran. There was about 20 other people from the consortium that made it up to there. The Oswego personnel were very helpful, very supportive. They had plenty of personnel to help us. We moved really fast through a lot of burn evolutions, and everybody walked away happy, so I think it went very well.
Good. Budget and finance, no real report. We will start very soon on the 2024 budget. IT committee. Diane and Cheryl.
Do you have anything to report?
With previous money that was already in the account, let's say, the chief's car is going to be outfitted with the MDT and all the other necessary equipment, but most of the equipment was in the back room of headquarters, so it's just labor to put it in.
Personnel, I would report that we are presently interviewing the candidates for part-time firefighter EMTs. We've had several interviews this week. We would expect to have a recommendation by early next week, and are looking for a date for a special meeting to act on these, the recommendations of the Personnel Committee. I guess I would inquire about the availability for commissioners, and I'm just looking at Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Could be daytime, could be evening. And that would, I think, probably be the bulk of the business for that meeting. Charlie, what kind of availability do you have?
I'm good on all 3 days.
Except for Wednesday morning.
Except for Wednesday morning, I guess.
except for Wednesday morning. Well, Wednesday daytime is difficult for Diana.
Correct.
So, how about, so
Monday, Tuesday.
what about you, Mike?
What days are those?
Monday or
22nd,
Tuesday,
23rd.
daytime?
Daytime, because usually I work 1 to 6, Monday, Tuesday.
You do? 1
Yeah,
to 6?
1 to 6.
So it would have to be in the morning
Morning or after 7.
or after 7 evening. I mean, do you want to go with the evening or you want to go with daytime?
Tuesday mornings, not good for me. Could do the evenings of any of those.
Okay. Evening?
What time? I'll try to make myself available. We just had a recent death in the family, and he donated his organs right now, so they're doing that right now, so I'm not sure when the funeral will be, but.
Okay. Today is the 15th, well, that gives us, a full week. I don't know what that's gonna mean for you.
I'll try to make it.
Do you wanna go further out and make it Wednesday night? That would give you another couple of days.
No, that's fine. Yes.
So if we go with an evening, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, that's okay with either of you? It's okay with you? It's okay with Diane?
What about Wednesday, in case there's any straggler resumes that come in, because you're gone Thursday, Friday.
Wednesday evening? Okay, Wednesday evening, 7 o'clock. And you want to do that at headquarters, or do you want to do it?
Charlie, we have a board meeting that night.
Do we? Can't make that, sorry.
Oops,
I forgot
okay.
about that night. We have a board meeting also.
Back that up to the Tuesday, I guess.
23rd.
Tuesday evening,
23rd.
yeah,
23rd.
23rd, 7 o'clock. And again, headquarters are here.
Well, the whole purpose of the meeting is just to either move forward with candidates or decline some candidates, so it'll be a brief meeting.
So headquarters.
Okay, headquarters? Okay, got that, Amy? Tuesday, 7 PM, headquarters, the 23rd. Truck maintenance. Oh,
We're working on some contracts. We've got, still waiting for a quote for some of 21's repair, and we've got a light bulb on order. 21, so.
Can I just ask a question on the quote for 21? Why would it be 3 separate quotes, one for headlights, prow light, scene lights? Why not just one quote to do the whole truck itself? It's cheaper than doing the generator. Then that way,
I'm gonna defer that to the chief, because he asked them to itemize it.
Right.
In case he couldn't find parts for one section, but
all right,
So, even to go on top of that,
yeah,
if they come back with a quote and it's
astronomical.
yeah, what can we get rid of and still get this thing moving forward, rather than going back and say, well, can I have a quote for just this and this?
So you get the quote for all 3
Yep.
projects,
And that's what I'm gonna present.
and if all 3 within that budget-wise, you go with all 3.
There you go. Yep.
Okay.
There's also a possibility that, there was talk about possibly not being able to do the headlights because of the, being an American LaFrance and not being able to get something that fits in the same bezel. So I didn't wanna have to go do it again. So by doing it in pieces,
Okay.
it should be one quote to do the whole thing, and then separate quotes to do just the individuals if we had to fall back to it.
Have we gotten any quotes back
We
yet?
have not.
What do they do?
All right.
Don't have a due date for them. They said they'd get them to us.
So you didn't set a date
Okay.
for them to bid for?
Nope.
I mean, 2 weeks ago, we ended up having that car in the tree and out to the ditch.
Many strikes.
And 21, rescue went first. They staged back, 21 came up alongside. And then I ended up having rescue, they came over on the other side, lit it up with their lights. And also, I would recommend, as we're talking on truck committees, if you're planning on keeping Rescue 1 for a while, possibly looking into updating their side lights, because with the courts, Rescue 2's little LEDs that they had lit that thing right up once we were able to get around the ambulance and get closer. Rescue 1's dim compared to what Rescue 2 is, so I would also recommend getting quotes for Rescue 1's lights.
I could look at it if you want to bring it Sunday night, if you
Yeah.
can be at the chief's meeting,
Yep.
or the officer meeting.
I mean,
We can discuss in detail and we'll bring it back to them.
Because it definitely, like for now, we're going over to Myers Corners this Saturday for a long stay, and that's gonna be an issue at nighttime without having lights. That's gonna be one concern that, I mean, yeah, you got the little box light, but that's nothing, but if it's something that comes in major, then I would recommend to the officer in charge is either start somebody with a heavy rescue to get a lights, or even request our rescue 2 for lights.
Yeah, and they do have other people other than just us.
Right, yeah, all stations should
Cover
cover.
it. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Building maintenance.
I got a note from Luke that I guess one of the heat pumps in the boiler room is making noise. He turned it off, and we're gonna have him call Hills, have him take a look at it. And Charlie also looked at it, so we'll have Luke call Hills, have him come up, take a look. I think it was pump number 3, he said it was. Also, he had some questions about the bathroom toilet flushing, but
Don't know, we'll look into it.
look into that. If we need a plumber, you can call the plumber. Also would like to, I don't know if the blacktop has ever been sealed here or when. Mark, do you know about if this has ever been sealed?
I don't ever recall this parking lot ever being resealed.
I think it was done once.
Once?
I think it was done once.
It's been a while.
It's,
Quite a while.
I think
I mean,
it's
'cause
due
it's
for,
been patched,
yeah, when they did all the
the drainage and all that, but since the drainage and all that, I don't believe it's ever been,
I think we're due for a major
yeah.
top coating from someone that does this type of thing. And I don't know about 2 or HQ either, so.
No, that's never headquarters. No, it's 2. No, headquarters. Oh, headquarters.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta seal them or lose them, one of the two. You gotta keep on top of them. And it's a big job, so
But it definitely
needs some
to
care.
maintain it, should be done quite every other year or at least.
Because we're starting to see some cracks and we need to have them put in.
Yeah, it's starting to break up out by the road over there by the squad bay too.
Yeah. So we need to have this top coated and have everything looked at so that we can keep the black top. Also, Chief has asked me to look at the exterior doors. So we've got to get some exterior doors because a lot of the salt has rotted the bottom of the doors out, so we've got to get some of those taken care of too.
Is that entry doors or?
The entry doors.
Entry doors.
Yeah, the steel entry doors. I don't know how old they are, but they're starting to,
I was original when they did this building.
yeah.
So do you want to just take off on your ceiling, or do you want to come back to the next meeting with the quotes? How do you, I mean, you've got money in your budget for maintenance.
The thing, I don't know how much the quotes are gonna be for ceiling, because
Yeah.
we've got a lot of square footage here, and I don't know if,
Another question regarding your building maintenance. Do you have a contract with your EBT fire alarm system to yearly come in and test or clean your smoke heads at all your buildings?
Yeah, that's part of the contract that we have.
Okay, because that was one of the, that was the
I'm
one
very
that
sure.
came on the other night,
Yeah.
with the dirty smoke head. And where I work, they have, every 6 months they come in and do half the building, and the other 6 months they do the other half.
Yeah. Isn't that included in our contract?
To do what?
Clean and maintain the smoke heads?
I don't think they clean them, no.
The Syracuse Fire and Alarm, are we still using Syracuse?
It's
Fire?
ADT now,
Oh, okay, well, you know.
or SRI does the sprinkler testing, ADT does the fire alarm.
Okay.
But SRI, I don't think they clean them.
One time. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it would be something to look into, seeing as the usage of the hall and everything else. And when they came in, it doesn't say, when Luke made the phone call and asked what zone, it doesn't say what zone or what area of the building it was in. Where each alarm panel, I would think, and I can't speak for all of them, but when an alarm goes off, it should tell you zone 1 meaning the hall, zone 2 the kitchen, zone 3 out in truck bay or something like that.
Yeah, I think it did say zone 1.
Yeah, but,
It came through on bricks what zone it was. I thought.
yeah, but what is zone
I don't
1? Nobody knows what zone 1 is.
You know, the diagram?
Right. That's what I'm trying to say.
So we don't have any diagrams on where all the zones are, we don't have it, we don't know what's in the contract as the requirements for cleaning the heads and everything else.
Just something to look into your
We
budget
probably
price.
have it somewhere.
Somewhere. I'll back up a minute. I see Chief Corcoran is here. Do you have a report at all?
Nothing regarding my current assignments from the chief. One thing I would like to communicate to the fire commissioners is after a call we had last night, after one of our calls last night, I received a phone call from one of the members of the GBAC crew that worked that call. And they wanted to express not only their gratitude, but also how appreciative they were of the response and what all of our members did on that call in relationship to care of the patient as well as assisting and working with GBAC in care of the patient. And then one of our members also went on the ambulance as they transported to Kraus, and the paramedic made note of the fact that the member that was sent did a really good job in the back of the ambulance working with him on care of the patient. So I sent an email out, I'm sure you folks saw the email, but I did want to convey that message to you folks that it was noted by GBAC. And I wanted to make sure that we were contacted me because we know each other. Wanted to make sure that that word got out, not only, he specifically, not only to myself, but to Chief Root, commissioners, and the members.
Good, thank you.
Joe, do you know what the outcome is? Did he make it or?
I do know what the outcome is. That's all I got.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Steering committee, Mike.
Steering committee met on May 6th, attended by Chief Root, Commissioners Malone and myself, Member Kearney. Newman was support and was late. Echo represented the E-Board. Absent were Padalino, Rasmus, and any line officer. Discussions involved areas of the new housing developments that are going on in our district. And it was pointed out that in the past, we don't have much luck recruiting new members from apartment complexes. Engine 91, they briefly discussed that. They're working on improving the website, signing up, and accessibility with that. Department planning, most of this discussion involves our vehicles, future vehicles, what to do with some of our current vehicles, updating some of our stations, either remodeling, and thoughts of having a building committee in the future. Discussion to postpone the meetings just due to the summer, with the possible next meeting would be September 9th, 23. And if anybody's interested in attending that, please let Kit know. That's it for steering.
Thank you. Fire prevention, Charlie?
Don't have anything right now, thank you.
Old business, we had the revision to SOG, personal vehicle response directed to scene. And I inquired from Chief Root, and he wants to table that to the next meeting for further input from his, I think, Chief and Lima.
Yep.
Under new business, I expected Mike Rasmus was going to be here tonight. He has brought up some questions about the bylaws committee and the differences between the officer qualifications policy in the bylaws versus in the district policy. But he's not here to discuss those things, so I guess we could table that till the next meeting, and he hopefully could attend. Any more business from the board?
Not right now.
Public comments?
Last month we discussed, or you as a table discussed, and we brought it up to our members regarding the hall usage, the numbers. You opted to table it at the time because you came up with a number of 25. And we're just waiting to hear what your final discretion is going to be on that. If 25 numbers staying, or how the outcome of that's going to be, so we can report it back to the members. Because that was one of the questions that they had during our business meeting. And we said, we can't answer that. It is in discussion at the time, tabled at the commissioner's level. But we'll get back to you as soon as we hear anything from you guys. So, and that was tabled at the last business meeting on your end.
So is there any action on that? Does anyone want to?
As I stated last time, 2 months ago, I think the number should not be 25. I don't think you should put a limit on it. It's not like there's hundreds of people that are coming to specific meetings that this whole thing came about. So I think it just, as I stated, as I made that motion and nobody seconded it, I'd be happy to make that motion again and rescind all that was on that. Again, this is a public building. This is owned by the taxpayers. It is maintained by us or overseen by us, but this is something that the taxpayers own. The people own it, you know? It's that simple. And to say that you're limiting them because of it's only 25, you know, if you're here a couple of times more than twice, it's only 25. It's not fair. It's not right.
Well, I thought, you know, I made a proposal last month that I thought was kind of.
And they argued against it.
So I said, well, I wasn't going to bring it up again because it didn't go anywhere.
Right, the proposal you did, you came up with a proposal, and then you guys tabled it because you were going to discuss the numbers of 25 or whatever, and that's what we left at our business meeting. So I just want to get the official stuff so we can report it back to them at the next business.
There's still no good reason that has been given as to the restriction on the use of the facility, other than it's parking related, which makes no sense whatsoever. But I'm sure there's some other underlying reason that nobody wants to speak of, but it's there. And putting those restrictions on a public building that is owned by the taxpayers, even though some of you think you own it yourself, it is owned by all the taxpayers in the district. They paid for it. And the members, one of the benefits, one of the few benefits that members have until they're dead is the use of the building. Otherwise, all the other member benefits kick in when they die or they get hurt. And you certainly should have other benefits for being a member of the department and volunteering your time than just getting death benefits or accident benefits. And for saying that it's a parking issue, the parking issue has been in existence for years. Come here on a day for voting, it's a worse parking situation then. There's nobody to direct traffic whatsoever. And the parking is all over the place. Even for the Lesniak event, the parking was all over the place, for those of you who attended.
Comments from the board?
I know you had some other thoughts on the hall usage as far as limiting people. Is that still something you're considering, or is that off the table?
Well, I brought it up last month and it didn't gain any traction, so.
It didn't gain traction because of the number, I don't think that we should limit it, period. I think that 5.2 and 5.3 should be removed from it. It's that simple.
But
Those,
the, 5.2 and 5.3.
each member household and or organization will be permitted 2 activities per year. That's 5.2. 5.3, any additional activity will require prior fire district approval.
We made a good attempt last month.
Yeah, I thought I was.
And what you brought
So-
up, but we just need to know if it's
So then they'll,
standing or it was left as an open on your end.
Yep.
You need to put it in final writing for us to get to our members. That's what we.
So let me explain the policy as is right now, okay? Whenever somebody wants to use the hall, they make the reservation with Amy, okay? According to the way that this reads, we, the commissioners, have to approve it. So every time somebody wants to use the hall, it has to be brought to this meeting, and we have to approve it, per the policy.
I think the understanding has always been that she lets the hall out if it agrees with the policy.
Right.
so are you saying that if we have an event, we only can have 25 people?
Correct.
That's
The
trying.
way the proposal was 25 or less, members can use it unlimited time. If you're gonna have 25 or more, you're limited to how many times you could use it per year.
I think it was
Maybe.
4.
Yeah, something like, I'm not sure exactly what the wording was, but there was 25 or less unlimited, 25 or more, there was a limitation on how many times you could use it.
I thought it was a step in the right direction.
I mean, it is a step in the right direction, but we just need to get clarification.
And
that's
if the
all.
policy says this is the way you have to do it, then that applies to everybody. We have to start applying the policy the same across every person. So whether it be a medical policy, the usage, whatever the case might be, all the policies need to be actually applied equally across all members. So if the commissioners have to approve every usage of it, then the commissioners have to approve every usage. That's what the policy says right now. That's what you wrote into the policy. So, and that being one of the policies, there's a whole lot of other policies that need to be applied equally across all members, instead of being pick and choose which ones you want to apply.
So is your suggestion off the table what you mentioned last month as far as the numbers? Because that was something,
I can get off. Shoot your head off.
I said, I think, groups under 25 unlimited for members. Over 25 members limited to 2 per year. And there was discussion of whether that would be 2 per year or 4 per year. Solves the parking issue. Smaller groups don't create a parking problem. I just thought it was a step in the right direction, but
I agree, I like that. It's a step in the right direction. And per member instead of household, so that way certain members who have more than one person, I don't think they should be penalized. They have 3, 4 family members and they can only use it.
yeah, Mark brought that up.
Right.
But that household is, you've got the policy. There's a clause at the bottom, I know nobody ever gets to the end, that if you get to your 2 and you need it more, you just ask. And even when you wanted alcohol the other day, the commissioners didn't turn it down. All you gotta do is ask.
So as of now, your proposal's gonna be our new standard that we can present back to the, is that gonna be the new updated policy?
We need to,
Right, you as a group need
we
to,
need to,
right,
motion, second motion, vote on it.
Right.
We're going to change policy.
right.
I'd like to make a motion for what you proposed last month. I'm in favor of that.
Which, can we see it specifically written out before we vote on it?
Okay.
Groups under 25, unlimited for members. Groups over 25, members limited to 2 per year per member or organization. That's what I have said.
Over 25.
So you made that
I
motion.
make that
And
motion
2 per organization, and that's it. Also,
for over 25. If it's under 25, it's unlimited.
right.
Over, it's 2 per member. So that way the Harrisons would each,
And what about the organizations?
in
That's the other half.
member organization.
So member organizations, they have unlimited, or they have to have a certain number?
Under 25 would be
It's
unlimited.
unlimited, over,
So like Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, anybody coming in?
correct.
As long as they had under 25.
Right.
Yeah, they have 50 Girl Scouts.
Right.
Would be-
So I make that motion.
Is there a second?
This is retaliation.
I'll second it. I think it's a start.
It's retaliation.
Right, Malone seconds the motion.
If there's pushback, then
Well,
pull
it
it
should
back.
be, it's back to the old way. It's retaliation.
Of any of it. You can get rid of the hall completely.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's talk of construction going on in here in the future,
Yeah,
so.
this is such a big headache. Why don't we just go back to the old way and let it go?
Well, the old way, we had complaints about parking.
Bring the complaints up in writing, we'd like to see them. Who made the complaints? What, if it's been resolved, it's resolved. How long have we been charging the Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts to come here?
Never.
Never. Now, I know I'm supposed to keep my mouth shut, but next month's business meeting, I'm gonna make a motion that any money that we get from you for the hall usage will be going back to the people that paid it. Because we don't need your money. We don't need the hall money. And that's the end of it. Just go back to the old way, the parking's done, and drop all the bitterness about other people in this room. Just let it go. Because you're just making more problems for this fire department. We're losing memberships because of the baloney you guys are feeding us. So that's my 2 cents.
Okay, so we have a motion on the board.
And we have discussion.
We've had discussion.
We have discussion, so this is discussion time. one of the members had reserved the hall, and he was declined the hall use. So this was a member of the fire department that wanted to use the hall. And when he was asked, who was it for, he was told, no, we can't use it. That is not right. If a member is part of an organization, he should be able to use it, or she should be able to use it. You're putting limitations on an organization. This is not an organization like the Red Cross making an appointment to use the hall or reservation to use the hall. This is a member. This is a responding member. This is somebody who gets up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, that makes calls, that does a lot of different things. But he was denied use of the hall because of the organization. As Mike says, this is unfair. This is not fair. This is still nonsense. It's just retaliation, not fair.
We had no problems with Rick Lesbiak Memorial that Friday. We had Luke out there attending the parking. Some people did park over where the firefighters park, but it was only 2 or 3 vehicles. But most of everybody parked over there, and there was no problem with the parking. So,
And how many were here, Charlie?
there was about 100 here. Maybe not all at once, but
Yeah, exactly.
there was no problem.
If I just heard correctly, something about possibly getting rid of the hall or not even having the hall because of renovations and all that, the fire department's always been a spot for community to come to if there's any type of emergency or anything else like that. So to make that type of a comment. And also next week, you have, I don't know if you guys are aware or not, but you have 400 and some odd kids coming here next week for a drill.
Not aware.
Yeah,
Waiting on a phone call.
okay. I was told that yesterday, they told me that. it's gonna
Yesterday,
be happening.
yep.
Okay, so,
Once I have official from the people, then they will be aware.
okay,
We're not-
but yeah, that is coming.
Where's the occupancy
Because
rating?
the firehouse is the emergency location for Palmer School kids. So
Exactly.
we did that evacuation drill probably 10, 15 years ago. And we're gonna be doing another one next week, a much smaller scale. I'll just give you the information. What I was told recently is they're gonna come here, they're only gonna stage here for a couple of minutes, and then they're gonna walk back. No pickup or nothing from here.
Yep, I
No
got
buses.
his information right here.
Okay, I will talk to Officer Lawrence.
Lawrence, yep.
Yep, have him reach out to you tomorrow just to reconfirm everything.
There's another person who's handling it, but
Yeah.
that's,
Yep, or Alex Ewing, my principal possibility. But I'll have them reach out to you tomorrow, just confirm everything. But yeah, that's happening next week. I was just informed of that. They've been keeping me on the loop of everything else too, but
Last time they picked up the students at the
Yeah.
end of the day here.
Yeah.
That was quite an
well, yeah, they,
undertaking.
yeah, we talked about that a little bit. I mentioned that to them and they said that's too much. And with all the parent pickups and everything that we have now compared to what we did,
Yeah.
they said, no, we can't do that. So we're just gonna do a mock over here for a little bit and then walk them back. That's how it goes. I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
So we have a motion on the floor.
Reread it, yeah,
What's that?
because there's been discussion to reread it, so,
Reread it.
yep.
Diane, you made the motion. You got it written down?
Yeah, I do. So it's unlimited for unlimited per member organization if it's under 25. If it's over 25, it's limited to 2 per member organization
Per year.
per year.
And apparently on the bottom of the small print, it says you can request more.
I don't see that. I do not see that. I have a copy of the policy right here, and I do not see that, so I don't know where Mike got that from.
It's not.
So,
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Opposed.
Okay, carried. Why? So I think we've gone through the agenda. We've had public comments.
One more public comment, please. On this new proposal for your paid crews, you asked for so much, almost 500,000 from the taxpayers. Do you have a printout of exactly what your agenda is, how it's gonna work, and how, something that you can give to the public so they know what's going on? Because is there a plan, strategy plan of how you're gonna implement this? And future cost and everything else part of the agenda. With the 29% increase the first time, is there gonna be increases down the road for taxpayers? We don't know, nobody knows. But that's the plan that you guys have in store and plan. But is it on paper? And if it is on paper, I would like to see a copy of it as a taxpayer to the district. What is your agenda? What is your goal? How do you plan on implementing it and everything else? That, as a taxpayer, I would think we would have the right to see.
We, at our, excuse me, at our meeting Tuesday night, we will be attaching dollars to the positions. It would be two positions, one shift a day. But we can certainly attach dollars to them.
Yep, we'll have to agree upon it.
Not hard to calculate.
Well, that and just an overall plan. Okay, so you got this extra money for your projected resources and everything that you see down the future for our department and the taxpayers. You got your assets now. Now how or what are they gonna be put to? I mean, you did a presentation for the public back in July of last year with all kinds of numbers and everything else. Questions were asked, no follow-up was done. You got your assets that you needed, the raise, but there's nothing out there for the public to see, okay, this is why they raised our taxes. Yeah, I agree with it, I don't agree with it, but there's nothing in writing for us to see. Everything is being kept behind the curtains. And as for taxpayers, I don't feel comfortable with it because it's like, okay, what exactly are you doing with our money? Are you doing it to this? Is it going to this? Where is it actually going? And that's, I would think that'd be a fair question.
Especially since when you got rid of 2 caretakers, you gave the secretary a raise, you hired a chief for less than what you expected, and you hired Luke, your actual personnel costs at this point in time are less than what they were last year. And yet you are taking in $460,000 extra this year after having a $200,000 overrun last year that you just put into reserves just in case. And you've had overruns like that for multiple years in a row. And always just putting it into reserves, $100,000, $200,000, but yet you needed $460,000 for this year. And you've only used about 13%, 14% of your budget so far this year, and it's already May. And yet, where are all these extra dollars going to go?
Well, we know it's taken longer than we anticipated.
Understandable.
To move through
Is that because you don't have a plan? That you started the long-range plan in April of last year, cut the meeting short, and then never had an additional long-range planning meeting to discuss any of the issues and bring that up in the public? You hid all those discussions to hire a chief and everything else away from the public in executive session so that you didn't have to talk to the public? The department members, I remember, asked questions and you kept coming up with, we don't know, we don't know, we don't know, we don't have answers, all the way into December. So again, where's the physical plan that Mark's asking for? I've had it on my list of things to ask for 3 months. I haven't seen that plan. there's a budget that has numbers sort of kicked in, and you had your presentation in July, and then you came up with all this stuff. You never actually talked about hiring, and actually getting the public's approval for hiring all the extra people. You just did your check the box because you had to do it for legalities. So there was the physical plan.
Well, as we meet Tuesday, we'll have dollars attached to that. We haven't used, we had to budget.
Right. You had to start somewhere.
We had to budget.
Yep.
Now, we're not going to use all that budgeted money.
But now that you have your budget, now there should be a plan made already. How do you utilize that budget? And put it in, okay, it's gonna be step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. That's fine, okay, so step 1, 2 new guys, or step 1 is new chief, so there's part of that budget. Step 2, caretakers. There's that phase, so there comes more money out of the budget. Step 3, 2 new paid firemen, so there's another portion of the budget. But,
That's what
and
we've
then,
done.
right, and you keep going down the line, but you should already have these lines made up and already planned out, not make it as you go. It should be something that's already planned out. All right, I got the money, here's the plan. And instead, actually, I would have thought it would have been, here's the plan, now let's put the plan in motion to get the money, and then once we get the money, then we can implement the plan. But we're going, getting the money first, then making the plan, kind of going backwards. But just something out there for the taxpayers to actually physically see, here's our plan, here's our goal, this is what we're doing so far. Every month, at least some type of report on it. Instead of just saying, here's your 2 new hirees, or however you're planning.
That might be appropriate discussion for the budget hearing.
Yep.
We did talk somewhat about that at the last time, at the budget hearing. We didn't have definite
Right.
figures, but
Right.
we allocated money to those areas. Okay. Well, your comments are noted, Mark.
They came about too, we have to talk about it.
I'm done with my time, thank you.
Okay. Any more business? Entertain a motion to adjourn? Okay, second. Who made the second? Mike, hello. All in favor? Aye. Adjourned.